Hi there. Welcome to Cats in the City, by Sith Sense. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Pearl.
Together, we would like to share with you pieces of interesting knowledge that we find.
And that could be useful to you in the future.
In our previous video, we introduced the concept of numerical methods and iterative calculations in Python, which can be used to solve non-invertible equations. This is a valuable skill in Python, and it is important to become familiar with and master these techniques.
I agree that this is a crucial skill in Python. You should aim to become confident enough to write the entire code on your own, without referring to our code. If you are not yet able to do so, I suggest rewatching the video and going through the code again, until you fully understand the concepts, and are comfortable with implementing them independently.
To solidify your understanding of numerical methods and iterative calculations, let's work through another example. This time, we'll use an example from the world of finance, and calculate the internal rate of return, for a series of investments made over a period of several years.
Firstly, let me explain the concept of internal rate of return, using a simple example. Imagine you have made some investments over the course of several years. You know how much you invested and how much your investment is worth today. So, how can you determine whether your investment was profitable?
If you want to compare your investment to a fixed deposit scheme, at your bank for example, you can use the interest rate of the fixed deposit scheme, to calculate the net present value of your investment using this formula.
Suppose you invested 10,000, 6,000, and 2,000 annually, starting from the year 2021. Using the formula and an interest rate of 3.5%, your investment would be worth 10,712.25, 6,210, and 2,000 in the year 2023, respectively. In total, your investment would be worth 18,922.25 in the year 2023.
If the present value of your investment is actually 20,000, which is greater than 18,922.25, then the rate of return for your investment should be higher than the interest rate of the fixed deposit scheme offered at your bank, which is 3.5%.
You can try different values of interest rate, to see which rate will produce the present value of your investment, which is 20,000.
An interest rate of 4% will produce a present value of 19,056, while at 5%, it's 19,325. You can keep on trying, and you'll eventually find the correct interest rate. This process is the well-known numerical method.
Calculating the net present value for a given interest rate can be a straightforward process. However, if you want to reverse the calculation to determine the interest rate, it can be quite challenging to do mathematically. You can always do it manually like how Johnny described just now, it's just very time-consuming.
This is where the power of iterative calculation in Python comes into play. As usual, I have included the link to the Colab Notebook in the description. We will go through the code quickly, and I will skip certain parts and focus more attention on the core code.
This is the data that we'll be using. The current year and current market value are variables that could change. Hence we used the input method to get the required information from the user.
In Python, a dictionary is used to store data in key-value pairs. In our data, the year is the key, while the amount invested is the value.
Dictionary is a very useful and powerful data type in Python. Believe me when I said that you'll use it very frequently in the future. So, if you wish to learn more about dictionary in Python, you can go to https://www.w3schools.com/python_dictionaries.asp.
Of course, in this case, we are the actual user, and you don't have to use the input method to update these information. Instead you can directly amend the data in the code.
Next, we will process the data, so that the key of the dictionary represents the duration of the investment in years. We added this step because it is easier to update only the current year, and let the code calculate the duration, instead of manually updating the duration in the data, which is prone to mistakes.
We'll use a while loop to perform the iterative calculation. And as usual, you'll need to define the condition for the while loop, and set the maximum number of iteration for the while loop, to prevent it from becoming an infinite loop.
Remember that iterative calculation will only produce an approximate answer. Therefore, we will need to set the level of approximation that is acceptable to us.
We will also need to define the range of the rate of return. The lower and upper limits of the range will be updated after every iteration, to produce a new rate that is increasingly closer to the actual rate of return.
The rate is calculated as the middle point of the lower and upper limits.
We'll also have to reset the value to 0 at the beginning of every iteration, so that the value calculated from the previous iteration does not carry over into the current iteration.
Next, we'll compare the absolute difference between our calculated value and the actual current market value. If the difference is less or equal to the level of approximation, we have found our rate of return, and will break free from the while loop.
Instead, if the difference is greater than our level of approximation, we'll need to update either the lower or the upper limit, depending on the relative difference between the current market value and our calculated value.
Also, don't forget to increase the count of iteration by 1 at the end of each while loop.
We will output our answer using the print and f-string methods. While you can set your own statements here, I would like to introduce you to some formatting capabilities of the f-string method.
To print a number with 1000 separator, and in 2 decimal places, you can use the f-string method, with the format specification mini-language, like this.
Additionally, note that f-strings are flexible enough to allow mathematical operations to be performed on variables before they are printed. You can experiment with the syntax and formatting of f-strings, to see how they can be used to make your output more presentable.
Moreover, I encourage you to experiment with the code. You can try using a for loop instead of a while loop, and explore the differences in syntax.
Additionally, you can challenge yourself by changing the data, current year, and current market value, to see if the code can calculate a negative rate of return, indicating a loss in investment.
These simple exercises can help you understand the code better, and improve your mastery of numerical methods in Python.
The ultimate challenge is to write your code in a way that can be easily used by a non-programmer, using a different set of data. Tips: to achieve this, you can use the input method to collect the data from the user. And remember to verify user inputs.
This way, the user doesn't need to have the programming knowledge to use your code, as they can simply enter the required data when prompted. Happy coding!
That's all from us this time. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Pearl.
Bringing you bits and pieces of interesting knowledge from cats in the city.
Thanks and see you next time.